Yeah, today we have some more content as the last weeks. We start as always with the latest news. Then we capture the grants program phase 0 recap. Then I have some Trust API updates for you. Troy will talk a bit about the ArTurbo Support updates and comes also with the latest KYVE upgrade. And then I think the biggest topic for today is the brainstorming about the staking update. And therefore, Max will present the planned changes or the ideas that are to be discussed today. And then, as always, we have the open questions section where we can talk about pretty much anything. And yeah, I think we can start. Oh, I muted myself. I think we can start with the latest news. So the SLAM slash indemnification program is still open. Anyone who wants, who is interested in it, I think you can just hit us on Discord or maybe write a quick message in the chat. The grants program phase 0 is now closed. Some updates for you. I have also some updates for you on the next slide. We started the public good funding initiative has been started, and we announced a partnership with Andromeda. And with also some numbers, I think the most interesting is that we surpassed 65 total transactions on the chain, which is, I think, a pretty impressive number. And yeah, let's come to the grants program phase 0 achievements. So we had some, I think, a pretty successful phase 0. It was super nice to see the actions that has been taking place in the community. We had also some impactful innovations that has been funded with 17k USDC and 50k in KYVE in total grants that are hopefully in good hands, and we hope to see some interesting projects within the next weeks. We have also seen that it was pretty easy to participate in the whole program with 7 applications that has been received. But if you have some improvement ideas or feedback, we are also happy to hear that, to constantly improve this whole process to make the next phase. Happy with the community involvement, with many discussions taking place around Discord, around Commonwealth as well. So it was pretty nice to see that. So thanks to all of you guys who participated, and stay tuned for the next phase. And we have also some status updates for the project that has been funded. So for pillars, the foundation agreement has been signed, and milestone 1 is already completed. Staking rewards, the foundation agreement has also been signed, and the team is already working on completing the milestone 1. Block rewards, the governance proposal passed and is currently in review by the KYVE Foundation. The Fair II data and the Validator AML bot were rejected by the governance voting, and the Mellifera proposal passed the governance voting, but ultimately was rejected due to a conflict with the terms and conditions. These are the updates to the to all applications. And now we can talk a bit about the Trustless API updates. So these are kind of some minor updates, but we also wanted to share with you. So we have a new landing page with more schemas, parameters, and more. So you can now have a better look at how the whole Trust API usage look like. And I think it's way easier now to see what it's actually has to do with it. The proof is now included in the header, so we wanted to make it more easy usable for you guys that are, for example, mainly in contact with, for example, tenement data, to make it look like actual tenement data, so the data matches the known schemas. And then we can have a quick look at it. So that's the Trustless API index page now, and as you can see, for example, the osmosis block, which comes which is provided totally trustless through the Trust API, looks now exactly like you know it. So we have the result where you can see the block. Same as for the block results. So now everything is a bit more I would say production ready. So if you want to have a closer look at it, I can share the link in the chat. And these are the updates to the Trustless API. I hope we will have some more updates next time, but I'm pretty sure we are working on it. And I think Troy, if you want to take over to talk a bit about the ArTurbo support.
Yes, I can do that. Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you pretty well.
Oh, perfect. All right, the feature you have all long been waiting for is finally the final stages. So in the future, once we also release the ArTurbo support, you will be able to actually pay your storage costs in KYVE tokens. So from a general setup, nothing will change. You will still, or the data will still be uploaded to KYVE, which is still very important to us since it fits our project so well. But we will just switch out the bundling service from iOS to ArTurbo, and we will provide you with all the documentation on how you can do the migration and how you can set up your new wallet, which is basically just a KYVE wallet. Um, Once we release this will come in the next couple of weeks, and we will sure let you know. And hopefully, this makes your node running experience a lot easier. And we are also quite excited for it. So now everything should be quite clear and round from that point of view. All right, then to the next slide. It's just a minor feature, but it still got requested because especially when you want to join a new pool or when you change something in your config, you might be afraid that you join a new pool and basically are afraid of slashes. We just released a dry run feature basically where you can add the flags below, and then it will join the pool and basically just listen to the votes, and it will not actually vote, so you will not have the risk of slashes, but it will record what you would have voted, and at the end you can specify a certain amount of bundles you want to run, and then after, let's say, 50 rounds, it prints you like a nice overview of how many valid votes you have, or maybe even invalid votes, which would be, of course, a bit bad. But basically, then you can pre-test your configuration. After that, you can be more sure to join that pool. So hopefully, this reduces the risk of slashing in the future. And also, speaking of slashes, what Liver reported regarding the archway slash. So basically, probably all those node runners got slashed to use the public endpoint. So probably they changed something in how they return a JSON response. So they sorted all their properties in a weird order, which is very uncommon for nodes. So again, please be very careful if you use public nodes. It is highly recommended that you use your own archival nodes. And that's the update regarding this. We'll also send a few details for it once I get confirmation from the Archway team. But this was because of that slash exactly. And then moving on to the next slide, we can start with the discussion we had already earlier this day. And we'll continue from there.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for the intro. We'll now talk about the staking update. First of all, I want to make clear that this is like really early brainstorming phase. The reason behind that is, so we launched a protocol layer over a year ago, and the idea was, okay, we have now two different layers. We start with the chain layer, which is like easy and a lot of people are already familiar with. And then we have the second layer, and we want to like incentivize people to move over to the second layer. We had the inflation split, we had higher APRs, but in the end it turned out that like the stake only grew very little, and compared to this chain stake, it's very slow. That's why we sat down and like decided to, okay, what are the options? Are there some options which we can do like to improve the entire situation? Because in the end, like the main product of KYVE is still the bundles KYVE produces, and those need to be secured with a high stake. And also we want to make it as easy for users as possible to participate in KYVE or like take part or help securing data. So the UX needs to be very easy. And this is what we noticed, like especially like with third-party applications, they mostly only support the chain layer, and it's very hard like to actually go to the protocol layer. For a lot of people, it's also like a burden to actually go to the web app. I mean, we try our best to make it as accessible as possible. But if you're like using a third-party tool, or if you like have a custody provider which does not support the protocol layer, there's almost like nothing you can do. And that's why we came up with the idea of like combining the protocol and the chain layer. And the like most straightforward solution for now would be that we say, okay, let's just reuse the existing stake from the chain nodes, and like the same way like people like you right now, if your protocol node join like a certain pool, you just take the stake from an existing chain node to join the pools. Like this is now technical. There's definitely ways on how we can do things differently. This is just like one approach we came up with. We'll present it to you right now. So we say, okay, you can take your chain validator where you have the operator address and you execute the join pool transaction. And you can specify, okay, I join with X% of my stake, meaning I earn like, with this stake I can earn rewards, but if I get slashed, I only will get slashed proportional to the amount of stake I have in the protocol. We will probably then remove, or would like to remove then the protocol staker on chain because it will be obsolete and can be fully integrated into the existing chain stakers. The downside of this is, in the end, we'll also have like a quick summary of the pros and cons. The downside of this is, of course, like every protocol node runner would be required to run a chain node. We have seen that a lot of like the protocol node runners already run a chain node. So we hope that the burden is not that high at this point. Then like implementation-wise, code-wise, it looks quite clean. So we can add the rewards from the protocol directly to the chain validator's outstanding rewards. And of course, if like a slash happens, so the slash then also only happens on the chain layer, because if somebody like gets slashed in the protocol, it gets directly transferred. On the other side, if a chain validator would get jailed, it would also mean that this validator would get kicked out of all pools. So these are like the technical concepts here. Integration-wise, it's from the tech side, it's quite okay because we can reuse a lot of parts from the Cosmos SDK, and we can even get rid of some modifications we made to the Cosmos SDK. On the next slide, we have the comparison for like the advantages and disadvantages. So the biggest advantage is like probably, or like they're not ordered, but we have like a huge UX improvement because now all the third-party applications, which are like usually only available for the chain side, would be now immediately available for like the protocol layer. Users no longer need to decide between layers, so they say they want to stake KYVE and they can just stake it. So there's no further education needed at this point. We have like very good integration then with all the wallets already. Also like in the Kepler wallet right now, for example, if you stake on the protocol, like your balance seems like it's gone because Kepler does not display it, and you need to go to the app to see your actual balance. But like for the chain side, Kepler has this feature where it already like queries the staked amount, and then it like sums it up together, so you still have like your correct balance. And like your multi-coin rewards would be directly available in your wallet. Like when the wallets, like if the wallet supports like claiming and stuff, you immediately see like your multi-coin rewards. And of course we have less code to maintain. So overall we make it easier for users to join, which means like we get more delegations, we have a higher security for the bundles, and maybe with this approach we can then finally achieve that we like somehow align or like get rid of the stake difference between like the chain and the protocol layer, because the overall goal is that we like in the end have like all the chain stake balls on the protocol so that we have the highest security for the bundles. The disadvantages are quite clear. Every node runner is required to run a chain node. The chain validator slots, like they limit the amount of protocol validators, because like every protocol validator needs a chain validator. However, right now, if we look at the numbers, there are still slots available on the chain, and we could still like increase the number of slots on the chain. So we should be good from that end. And one step is of course the migration process. The idea right now would be that like every protocol validator in the upgrade migration can submit a pull request where they transfer the delegations over to the corresponding chain validator. Like again, this is like one option. Everything is in the brainstorming phase. And to adapt the stake difference, it would require like a rework of the delegation program. There we would talk with the foundation to get something arranged. For the disadvantages, we already prepared a form and like the doc which we shared yesterday with you guys, because it's very important for us that we get your feedback on this. And to everybody who hasn't filled out the form yet, I kindly ask you to do so because it helps us a lot on figuring this stuff out. And we really want to like develop this very closely with you guys so that we like get all the pros without having any of the cons. This is from my side, so I'm very happy to have your feedback, but also if you have some feedback to the earlier points mentioned, like ArTurbo or the Trustless API. The chat is now open. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much, Max. I think there are already some questions in the chat we can discuss. Maybe we can start with, Crossness wrote, right now a protocol validator can choose to join the Kronos pool only, and the more pool we will have, the more cherry picking will be possible. What happens if a validator doesn't want to run a given pool?
Wait, let me read it real quick. So like the mechanic would be actually like the same as now. So like the validator can choose the pools he wants to join, if I understand the question correctly. If a validator doesn't want to run in a given pool, he just does not launch a protocol node there. So we still have like the separation with the val accounts on the protocol layer. Like on a physical level, I have one machine where I run my KYVE binary chain node. I have another machine where I run the actually KYVE.js protocol node. And then with the operating address, I authorize a val account from my protocol machine to actually vote in favor of my chain validator. So this mechanic which we have right now with the protocol staker object you create on the protocol layer would be then moved to the chain, or like we would take the chain validator for this. Will chain jailing lead to protocol slash or just kick from the pool? This is up for discussion. Right now we would say no, because like the infraction happened on the chain, so the user should get happened for the chain infraction, so just receive the chain slash, gets jailed, but because of the jailing, these tokens are no longer at stake, governance participation is no longer possible. We therefore like need to synchronize these two layers and also kick them out of the protocol layer. Can we join a pool with a given pool with 0%? So that's definitely an edge case. Technically, you would have 0 voting power. You would never get selected as an uploader and wouldn't receive any rewards. If there are no validators in the pools, this is an edge case we need to cover. Maybe we just disable it by the code. Yeah. We also like the idea if it's possible to have less code modification, it's always better. It's higher security, less maintenance. It's always good, and it helps us to focus on other stuff. Chain jail already generated slash. Yes, the same thing is with like the code separation in the Cosmos SDK works the following way, that like the jail and the slash are two different functions, or two different two different functions in the code, and we just can like execute the slash, which just calculates the actual slash without doing a jailing. But again, like we're currently still like in the POC phase. We will do like a lot of due diligence and like a lot of research to check that there are like no hidden edge cases or anything, so that we really can slash without jailing. Okay, Fabian, yeah, okay. From the protocol. Chain. Yes, double slash would technically be possible on the chain. This is currently not possible right now, because if you get slashed once, you get jailed. On a protocol level, like you get slashed again. This is definitely the case. If you have ideas to prevent, we can do this, like feel free to put it in the form. The idea is right now I can choose to run pool 2, 3, 4 only, or another validator can choose to run 4, 6, and 10. Although this will still be possible. So the mechanic will be the same, like the just everything moves from like the protocol staker now to the chain validator operator wallet, and this is the wallet where you execute the join pool transaction, and then with this you join like pool 2, authorize your val account 1, which runs like on your protocol node, I don't know, Cosmos Hub machine. Then you authorize another val account which runs like the protocol node in another pool, and so on. Yeah. Okay. I hope this everything got clear. If I like didn't answer a question 200%, please just ask again. Okay, yeah, I will post the just the link to the form real quick. So this is like the Google Doc we have. Like you can read the current. Oh yeah, I can cover some of the migration idea. So the migration idea would be that in the source code, when we write the migration, so we will reach out to every validator, of course. Then you guys can submit a pull request where you say, okay, my validator belongs to this chain validator. Of course, everybody else will make sure that this is like plausible and it makes sense. And then if like everybody agrees, then we have like a full migration. What we do is like we would, on a technical level, we have like mirrored the entire delegation module from the Cosmos SDK on the protocol with like a few minor adjustments from our side. We would then like get all the current delegations on the protocol layer and then perform the delegate command on the chain layer. So the user would it would be a very smooth transition for the user where the stake just gets reassigned from the protocol nodes to corresponding chain nodes. If like a few validators do not participate or do not submit a pull request or whatever, we need another strategy. Right now, we would say we just transfer to the KYVE public good validator because the amount from, or like the reward from that validator are put into the protocol again. We think this is probably the most fair approach. Other than that, like the delegations will be shifted to the chain layer. This should be quite easy. And again, like the delegation program needs to be adjusted then. Did I miss something, Fabian? Fabian's typing. In the meantime, this is like the link to the document. We shared the current ideas. And at the end of the document, there's like a form which you can fill out, which helps us a lot. Update to the delegation program. So right now there's like a huge basket for like the chain validators. Now there would be like, this would be like reworked that there's also like probably a basket for then the protocol like for validators who run on the protocol and the chain layer. And additionally, we have the smart delegation program which we want to put in place. This is like a service which monitors like the network behavior, tries to find out which IP addresses are used for voting and everything. And then it like creates a score only dependent on like technical details from that validator. So it finds out where's the validator located, what are the block times, governance participation, and so on. So we get like a very like technical score, and this is then used to adjust also a kind of part of the delegation. Again, nothing set in stone. The numbers are fully up to discussion. We will of course try to make it like as smooth as possible, and like okay.
All right. If there aren't any open questions, I think we can move on to the last section. Thanks so much, Max, by the way. I think it was pretty clear. And yeah, so if there are any other open questions, not also regarding the staking update, you can just type it in the chat or raise your hand. But I think then we are good for today's call. All right, then thank you so much, guys. See you next month. And yeah, let's stay in touch on Discord.